All right, lesson 2.3, this is solving systems using technology. So the past few lessons I've showed you the long and hard way with substitution and elimination. I'm now going to show you there is a way you can do it in your calculator. So take your foldable and fold it in half. We're going to talk about some of these different words to begin with, starting with matrix. A matrix is a rectangular arrangement of numbers. Okay, we're going to use these matrices inside our calculator to come up with the x, y, and z values that we've been finding with substitution and elimination. Dimensions of a matrix, the way we write these, is m times n. M is your number of rows. N is the number of columns. We're also going to be referring to the elements of a matrix. The elements of a matrix are just the numbers in the matrix. Lastly, this is referred to as an augmented matrix. A few things you have to remember is they have to be written in standard form. And just a reminder of standard form, we should be good on this, but that is ax plus by equals c. And when we write these, we're going to be using only coefficients and constants. So basically, we're only going to be looking for the A, the B, and the C. We're not looking at the variables of X, Y, or Z. Okay, this next portion right here, it tells you the steps to be using in the calculator. There are several steps in the calculator, but it beats doing it by hand. So if you need to, I'm not going to go over these right now. However, when you start doing this on your own, if you need to come back and refer to these steps, this tells you the exact steps in the calculator. Your calculator is also going to be telling you how many solutions that you have. You can have one solution, you can have no solution, or you can have infinitely many, meaning you can have several different solutions. We just need to know how to read the calculator when it's telling us these things. If you solve a system of equations that has a solution, your calculator is going to look something like this. So these brackets with the numbers in it, this is an example of a matrix. You always want to look at the bottom numbers first, whatever the bottom row is. If there are multiple numbers, meaning numbers other than 0 and 1, in this case there's a 2, that means your answers are going to be found right here. So if we plug this example into our calculator, the answer to this matrix would be x equals 1 and y equals 2. It always goes in order. X, y, if there's a z, it would be underneath the 2. Next thing you can have is no solution, and your calculator has a way of telling you that as well. Remember I said we always need to check the bottom of the solution, the bottom row. The bottom row, if it has no solution, is always going to be 0, 0, 1. If your bottom row says 0, 0, 1, you know automatically the answer is no solution. Here's another example. Nothing but zeros and the last one being a 1. No solution. The last option is for us to have infinitely many solutions. Your calculator will tell you this. You're going to check the bottom row. For infinitely many, they're going to have nothing but zeros. Okay, let's look at a couple examples. The first part, we're just going to be writing the matrices in augmented form. So remember, looking back here, we're going to write these in standard form, and we're only going to be using coefficients and the constants. So first thing we want to do is just check these equations and make sure that they're already in standard form. We've got xy equals in a number, xy in a number. These are already in standard form. This is your ax plus by equals c. The next thing we need to do is write the matrix. This is super easy. You're just going to look at whatever the coefficients are, basically the numbers of the matrix. So it looks like this. 5, 6. Wherever there's an equal sign, you put a colon in the matrices, and then 13. 5, 6, 13. And we're going to do the same thing with the second one. 8, -2, don't miss that, colon 2. Matrices always have brackets around them. That's the proper way for us to write a matrix. There's your matrix for the equation. And then it wants us to state the dimensions. Remember, the dimensions are going to be your m times n, your number of rows, so we have 2 rows, by 1, 2, 3 columns. The dimensions of this matrix are a 2 by 3. Pause this video and try the next one. Okay, coming to the answers for the next one. Again, first thing we want to do is make sure that it's in standard form. We have x, y, and then our number, but here our x and y's are switched. So the first one is normal, 7, -4, colon for the equal sign, and then -5. But the second equation, we always have to, they have to be in standard form, so we need the x to come first, which is -2, the y is 13, and then my whole number is 45. This should be your matrix. The dimensions of the matrix, remember, it's the number of rows. We have 2 rows by 3 columns. Taking a look at number 3, making sure they're in standard form. X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z. We're good. All we need to do is take our numbers and write our matrices. -2, 4, careful with this, that's -1. Colon for the equal sign, -14. 3, -2, +2, colon sign, -3. 6, -3, 1, +13. Now, writing our dimensions for this one, number of rows. This time we've got 3 rows. I'm going to write it to the side. 3 rows by the number of columns. 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. This matrices is a 3 by 4. It's really important to be able to write your dimensions because we have to tell the calculator that information in a second. I want you to stop this video and try number 4 on your own. Answers for number 4, X, Y, Z, X. This one I got to be careful with when I write my matrix because this is not in the correct order. Neither is the bottom one. These are not in the correct order. So I've got 1, 3, -9, and 14. For the second one, it's got to be X, Y, Z. And the final number is 11. The last one, X, Y, Z, and our whole number. Again, this is 3 rows by 4 columns, 3 by 4. Okay, I want you to pause the video and finish these last 4 on your own and come back and get the answers from me. Okay, X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z, X, Y. We don't have a Z. That's okay. We got 3, -6, -2, -5. 1, 1, 1, 19. X is 4, Y is -9. I don't have any Z's. I need to put a 0 for a placeholder. -2. This is also a 3 by 4. 3 rows, 4 columns. Okay. Okay, number 6, I don't have an x, so I need a placeholder. I've got 3 y's, 4 z's, negative 12, 6 x's, 8 y's, negative 9 z's, 32, negative 1x, 5y, negative 2z, 1. 3 by 4 again. Okay. The bottom ones, they are not in standard form. They are going to need to be. I've got x, y, z, and the 37 is on the wrong side of the equal sign, which means if I want to move it to the right side of the equal sign, remember the trick that I've taught you in the past. Anytime you want to move numbers from one side of the equal sign to the other, all we need to do is change the positive negative sign. So if it's positive on the left side of the equation, it will be negative on the right side. Your matrix is going to look like this. We've got 2 x's, negative 7 y's, 1 z. 37 would move to the other side, making it negative. 10 x's, my y's. The y's are on the wrong side. So if I were to move them over, they would be negative. Negative 4 y's. I've got negative 3 z's and 9. 5 x's. I don't have any y's in this equation, so just put a 0 for a placeholder. I have negative 2 z's, but they're on the wrong side. They need to be moved to the left. Negative 2, if I move it to the left, becomes positive 2. My 13, it needs to be moved to the correct side as well. It's negative on the left, making it positive on the right. Okay, number 8. 9 x's, negative 1 y's, 0 z's, negative 4. X's, they're on the incorrect side, so I need to move them, which will make it negative 2 x's, 4 y's, 8 z's, 3. Lastly, I've got 5 x's, 2 y's, 8 z would need to move to the left, making it negative 8. There would be no constant anywhere, so my constant placeholder is a 0. Good. Both of these are also 3 by 4s. Okay, 9, 10, 11, and 12, we are actually going to solve the systems. In order to solve the system, we're going to have to write a matrix. So I want you to go ahead and write your matrices for 9 and 10. Pause this video and come back when you're finished. Okay, here's the matrix for number 9, number 10, okay. Now that we have the matrices written, we're going to grab our calculator and we're actually going to solve it. We've got to figure out what x, y, and z equal. So again, if you get lost with these calculator steps, if you'll come back to the first page, this tells you exactly how to do it. Follow along with me for the first time. We're going to do second matrix. The matrix button is right down here. It's the x to the negative 1. You're going to go over to edit and press enter because we have to enter the matrix that we just wrote. You want to make sure that your dimensions are correct. This is really important. So with number 9, it is a 3 by 4, so I'm good. If you need to change that, just change the numbers and move your cursor forward. Now, all I did was hit this arrow to go down to the matrix. You're just going to enter the matrix exactly as you have it written. So we've got 2. If you press enter, the calculator will move over for you. Negative 5, enter, 1, enter, negative 5. Negative 3, enter, 4, enter, negative 2, enter, 1, enter. So when your calculator automatically goes this way, and then it jumps in this one, and now we're on the last one, which gives me 6, 1, 4, 7. Enter. Your next step, once you have everything entered into your calculator, is second quit. Next, second matrix again. This time we're going to go over to math, and I want you to scroll down to this guy, where it's the B and then it says RREF. I call this BREF. So you want to scroll down to BREF and press enter. Second matrix, enter. So you want it to say A because that's the matrix we put in. Press enter for the last time and it will give you the answers. Now, remember I said we got to check the bottom row and make sure that there are other numbers there besides 0 and 1. And there's a 6. So automatically I know that this matrix has a solution, and here it is. Your x is -3, your y equals 1, and your z is 6. So we did not have to do any of the substitution or elimination to figure out what x, y, and z are. Remember, we write our solutions in ordered triple form. So this would be -3, 1, 6. This is the answer to your matrix. Okay, I'm going to go over the steps again for number 10. All right, second matrix. We got to enter our new matrix, so we're going to go over to edit. This matrix is also a 3 by 4, so I'm good. I do need to enter my matrix now. 2, 2, 2, 6. So all I'm doing between numbers is pressing enter, and it jumps forward for me. -3, -4, 5, -2, 5, 5, 5, 14. Once my matrix is entered, we do second quit. We have to go back into the matrix menu, so second matrix, math. We're looking for BREF. There it is. Press enter one time. Second matrix for the last time, enter. Press enter again, and you have your answers. Always check that bottom row first to make sure there's something other than 0 and 1. There's nothing other than 0 and 1 here. So when you look back at your first page, if the bottom row has 0, 0, 0, and then a 1 on the end, like we have here, your answer is no solution. There's not a solution to this system of equations. Okay, I want you to pause this video and complete 11 and 12 on your own. Come back and see if we have the correct answers. Okay, so the answer for 11, your triple would be 5, -2, and -3. Again, that comes straight off your calculator. For number 12, -4, 0, and 3. If you had any trouble figuring out the steps, please, please, please go back and follow these. It tells you exactly how to do it in order for you to get your matrix. Last problem. A fundraising company sells 3 different sizes of candles. For a school fundraiser, you sell 3 orders from the company. The first order consists of 2 small candles, 1 medium candle, and 2 large for $58. Remember, with word problems, it's generally 1 equation per sentence. Second order, 3 small, 1 large for $39. The last order, 4 small candles, 1 medium candle for $44. Write a matrix to represent the situation. Well, in order for me to write the matrix, I'm going to have an equation. These are pretty straightforward. Your first order, 2 small candles, I'm going to refer to that as S, medium, M, and large. Those are going to be my 3 variables. So I've got 2 small plus 1 medium plus 2 large, and that equals $58 for all of them. Now my second equation, 3 small candles plus 1 large equals $39. Notice that doesn't have any M's. That's okay. They didn't buy any medium candles. And lastly, the third order, 4 small candles plus 1 medium, and they paid $44 for that. Okay, so I have my 3 different equations, and the original problem was to write an augmented matrix. So once I have my equations written down, I can do that. Here's my matrix. Remember, I know we don't have X, Y, and Z, so we just keep them all in the same order, small, medium, large. So 2 small, 1 medium, 2 large, remember a colon for the equal sign, 58. The next equation, I've got 3 small, I don't have any mediums, and 1 large for 39. Lastly, I've got 4 small, 1 medium, and no large, $44. There's your matrix. Part B says use a graphing calculator to find the cost of each size of the candle. I'm going to do this one with you. We're going to go over the steps one more time. Second, matrix. Go over to edit. This is a 3x4. Enter your matrix. Okay. Second, quit. Second, matrix. Math. We're looking for breath. Second, matrix. Enter. Check the bottom row. Make sure there's something other than zeros and ones. There's a 15. Here are my answers. It's always going to be in the order that you put it in. So we did small, medium, and large. So these are your small, your medium, and your large. So the cost of each size of candle. Looking at my calculator, my small candles are $8. My medium candles are $12. And my large candles are $15. All right, that concludes the lesson for today. If you have any questions, ask somebody around you. Go back and listen to what I've said on here. Most importantly, follow the steps here for your calculator problems. Grab yourself a glue stick and glue this into your journal.